Sinead Morrissey's On Balance, which has just won this year's Forward Prize, is a collection that keeps extending itself and that shares many of the satisfactions of fiction, memoir and history. There is an especially arresting poem about a model of Napoleon's horse, another fine poem about the aviator Lillian Bland, and an astounding poem based on a garish photograph of Tsarist Russia. Even the poems that cross the finishing line with a flourish are open-ended, leaving one with the sense that there will always be more to say, and this is because Morrissey is possessed of her own invigorating brand of Irish fluency and an imagination that never closes. On the subject of balance, there is always the likelihood that the world is about to tilt. The Miller Helen, the poem that launches the collection, means I had to look it up, a unit measure of pulchritude, corresponding to the amount of beauty required to launch one ship. A natural performer on the page, Morrissey holds us here with a feat of suspension, of literary engineering. This is a phenomenal performance, a single sentence, no full stops, a steady push out into the water. I take liberties in interrupting its flow to lift out these lines. Grandstand of iron, palace of rivet, starts moving, starts slippery, sliding down slow as a snail at first in its viscous passage, taking on slither and speed, gathering in the atlas-capable weight of its own momentum, tonnage of grease beneath to get it waterborne. She describes an event that one has witnessed but, without the detailed evidence of her poem, would have judged indescribable. She takes on the tonnage lightly, steering the poem to its close. But in another sense, the voyage has scarcely started. We wonder about the ladies lining the quay and the layered drapery touching their gloves to the lips and their untold stories, the romances. Other poems are anchored by family. There is a touching sequence about her grandfather, Collier's aide below. He followed the horses but never placed a bet. Fantasy winds furnished his life. The imagined improvements were humble, tea cozy, boots, a pigeon coat, and the writing about him is unprecious too. There are beautiful companion piece family poems about the importance of play. The Rope describes the bond between siblings, and Very Dyspraxic Child is about a boy's brave loyalty to Batman. Child's Play is seldom child's play to write about. And then there is the splendid title poem, Taking on Philip Larkin, in which Morrissey arraigns him for his sexism in Born Yesterday, the poem written to mark Sally Amiss' birth, in which he wished her dull for the sake of happiness, playing bad fairy. She ends with this rebuke: I wouldn't let you near me, brilliant daughter, so far, in fact, from dull, that radiant, incandescent air as shadows on the landscape after staring at the sun. The stinging spirit of this is wonderful. But it is nativity that is the multitasking show stealer. I love this poem. It starts as a sympathetic record of a school nativity play, but then, by the second verse, has evolved. She casts the headmaster as an almost comically biblical figure. Morrissey knows how the story of the nativity will make every parent think. And she ends with a funny, moving, nerve-wracking admission about the primary school children she watches, whose frankincense we breathed when they were born, admitting that, as parents, we don't know what the instructions are, we've left them in itchy knee socks, holding up a sign, or how it will end. On Balance by Sinead Morrissey is published by Carcanet. £9.99. To buy it for £8.49, go to guardianbookshop.com or call 0330 333 5846. Free UK PP over £10, online orders only. Phone orders min PP of £1.99. Collier, an extract by Sinead Morrissey. Though he never once placed a bet, my grandfather sat in his chair every day and picked out winners: Larkspur, League of Nations, Isinglass, Never Say Die and the 2.30 at Epsom and Newmarket. Head follow their dips and peaks, ingesting the painfully difficult newsprint on off-work afternoons, or head rely on the tug-gather sleeve of instinct. This grandmother's Romany nouse with horses, his blacksmith father's apprising sense bred into his muscles and veins. And so his damaged house filled up with winnings: tickets to a race, pairs of boots to choose from, a tea cozy from a shop, a pigeon coat out the back, and after each spectacular nose across the finish line, outsider made him rich, which happened. Twitch ate, sit and eat his wedding supper over again in his imagined life: ham on the bone, salmon, roast beef, egg and cresser cake.